staff will have our opening prayer and flag salute.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you so much, Lord, for allowing us to be here, to be in this wonderful city, be in this country, Lord. I ask you to put a hand of protection on all the servicemen, women that are overseas doing our work for us, Lord. Just keep them all safe. God, I do ask you to give us guidance and wisdom as we go about doing the business of the city. I ask that we do it in a way that pleases you, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I'll call the February 14th, 2022 meeting of the Newcastle Public Works Authority to order. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Carl Nell.
Here.
Mike Fullerton.
Here.
Tommy Clay.
Here.
Gene Reed.
Here.
Marcy White. Here.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action of approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion second for approval of the agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Gene Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 3 is citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any citizen to comment on any matter related to the City of Newcastle Public Works that is not on the agenda. I remind any potential speakers that all speakers shall clearly state their name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person with only one speaking opportunity. Board members will not respond to comments or questions. The chair may end comment period at his discretion, and prior authorization is required for distribution of materials or to approach the board. This time, are there any citizens' comments related to Newcastle Public Works? All right, seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, consent agenda. Is there an item any member of council prefers be removed from the consent agenda and addressed individually? All right, seeing none, item 4, consent agenda.
Motion for the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second for approval of the consent agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Gene Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 5, discussion and possible action on any items removed from the consent agenda. Be no action on that agenda item. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on approval of bid, award of contract, and authorization to issue notice to proceed for repainting 2 water storage facilities and a clarifier at the water treatment plant.
You want to speak to this, Kenny?
I sure can.
Good.
We didn't necessarily design the improvements and the repainting, but we assisted city staff with bidding the project. Kynard was the low bidder. We've worked with them numerous times. In fact, I think they did the painting on the Ridge Water Tower when that was originally built. So we would recommend awarding contract to Kynard.
All right.
Only thing I would add, Mayor, is on the clarifier, we fully expect once they blast it, we're gonna have some holes that are gonna need some patching, but that was almost impossible to quantify in the bid process, so
Is there any amount of that quantified in the bid, or is it all excluded?
it's all excluded. There was just no way. And that's another reason Kynard does a good job with that. They're not gonna get to us on a repair like that.
And they were by far the lowest bid. I don't say by far, I mean,
There was another one close.
close,
but-
but one was close.
Yeah, it wasn't so much difference that it scares me that they totally left something out, so.
We got 3 that were.
One was trying to make a little money on it.
One, they got it, they're gonna take it.
Throw it in there and hope no one else shows up.
Yeah, to be honest, I hadn't heard of that high bidder.
She
So-
called me again today.
Is that right?
I gave her your number.
Thanks.
I mean, the bid, that's
Kind of
open,
facetious.
that's public.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's what you got.
She told me that they bid all of it together, and I said, well, I believe the other bidders did too,
Right.
so.
Yeah, I don't know where they came from. If they were low bid, we would have definitely gotten some references from them, but they weren't low bid, so I didn't even bother.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Do we need to put any language this for the additional prep work that might need to be done to the amount? Or do we just address that at a later date?
We address that at a later date, and there's probably an amount that Kevin would be fine with approving as a change order.
That's what I know.
Anything major would have to come back to you.
I'll
And since there's
document it in the minutes.
since there's no bid item, I guess there's a 15% limit on that, isn't there? So,
Well, that's already in statutes, that you got up to 15%.
Correct.
Make a motion that we approve, what item, I moved down to the bids.
Six.
To item number 6, for the bid to accept Kennard as the approved bidder.
Second.
Motion second to accept the bid of Kennard Painting and Sandblasting Inc., amount of $418,800.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White, Carl Nell.
Yes. Discussion of possible, item number 7, discussion of possible action on approval of revised easement agreement between the city of Newcastle and the Newcastle Public Works Authority and the areas at law of the estate of Randolph Newman DeVille deceased.
I would ask council to, if you decide to approve this tonight, to approve it contingent upon the signing of the agreement by the other parties. I sent this to our city attorney, and he reviewed it, made a few tweaks, and we sent that to them. I sent it to them Friday. They responded back today. They had already signed the agreement that their attorney came up with, although there was nothing agreed to last week. When I got it, I sent it to our attorney for review. So we will take this agreement and the changes that have been made to it and send it back to them tomorrow if council approves.
Is it more wording or just?
It clarifies things more. It's more clear.
Did we get a copy of it? Because I looked for it and I didn't see it.
I
Should've been,
added
yeah.
it to your link.
I was looking
To
for it.
that.
Can you summarize the changes a little bit?
Basically their attorney said, you know, the city of Newcastle has said they would like to have these projects done within a 2-year period. So basically that's what they're going off of, is they don't necessarily say they expect it, but after running it by the city attorney, it's a little cloudy. And that they may try to infer that it's supposed to be done within a 2-year period. Mr. Bryant took that language and added to that and said this in no way gives them any right to come back on the city if we do not finish it within a 2-year period. So,
So
And
that
that's
was
it in
his
a
ad
nutshell.
toward the end then?
That's correct.
Okay,
There's a paragraph 4, you'll
Right.
see in the easement itself, there's a paragraph 4 that made it clear that the transfer really is, the consideration for the transfer is the land and the cash, but the 2-year time period is not part of the consideration.
So you feel like that protects us if for some reason we're not able to finish it in that time period, there's no claim, there's no discussion to be had by them?
Correct. There was a concern to make sure there wasn't a potential breach of contract claim in case, I mean,
Right,
things happen over a 2-year time period.
Right.
And I know we're going to use our best efforts and try to get it done, but things happen. So we just want to make sure it's clear. that
Yeah.
we're part of the agreement.
no, that was my concern last time, thank you. I
And
don't know
this
how I missed that.
So we're gonna
I think this is his paragraph.
avoid paragraph 4.
Oh,
No.
paragraph 4 is what we added.
Yeah,
Oh,
Right.
And there were a few other tweaks in the language,
Okay.
but that's the gist of it. is paragraph
okay.
So we're looking, so the item is for us to consider approving the new language to be, and you said, but we should approve it, if we approve it, it should be contingent upon what?
well, so basically you'll be first approval.
Yeah,
If you
okay,
choose to
right,
approve it,
right,
I'll
right.
send it to them and see how they respond.
Right.
Pending their final approval.
Right.
All right.
We don't believe there'll be any problem with them approving it. We had some correspondence back from their attorney
Good.
that felt like that both of these, the language in the agreement said basically the same thing. We just think ours is a little more clear. So we'd like to have ours signed, so. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable with it without the additional language, so.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve item number 7, the revised easement agreement between the city of Newcastle and Public Works, October 30, and the heirs of the law estate of Randolph and Newman DeVille deceased, with contingency that requires their execution of a signature.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 7 with contingencies.
Mike Fullerton?
Yes.
Tommy Clay?
Yes.
Gene Reed?
Yes.
Marcy White?
Yes.
Carl Nell?
Yes. Item number 8, discussion and possible action to approve a request from the town of Goldsby for modification of a water line access and construction agreement dated February 10th, 2014, between the city of Newcastle, the Newcastle Public Works Authority, the town of Goldsby, and the Goldsby Water Authority to allow extension of Goldsby water service into the Newcastle service area line east of Pennsylvania Avenue on the north side of 290th/Chestnut Road.
This is the property out on Chestnut Road or 290th that does lie within our jurisdiction. But of course, Newcastle has no water service out there whatsoever. And Goldsby has a water main right directly across the street. So the property owner has requested water service from them, but they have to, of course, get our approval because of the agreement that we have with them as far as being able to run water lines or service our customers, our residents.
And this is an area that's not incorporated in the city limits of Goldsby,
That's correct.
so it's county. Okay.
And it's just for a single customer or development?
It's Mr. Remington, it's his development out there.
Okay.
So would these residents be off of Newcastleville, or would they be off of Goldsby?
Goldsby.
Goldsby.
Be like that gas.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting worried, getting back into another one of them again.
Now, this is the same type of deal that we've had out here on County Line Road where Blanchard actually
Right.
serves our residents because we don't have water out there.
And had we not entered into the agreement in 2014 that said we're not going to serve customers on this side of Western Avenue, and you're not going to, Goldsby's not going to serve customers on this side, but if they wanted to allow somebody to hook onto them that was not their city limits, they could do it without even checking with us. The only issue here is us okaying the fact that we're letting them hook onto somebody that's on the west side of what would be Western Avenue, because that was the original agreement that Goldsby would stay east of Western, we would stay west of Western, unless it was in our city limits. So the selling the water is not the issue, it's the agreement and the modification of that, since it's outside that boundary.
I forgot, I'm not sure where Chestnut Road is. How far south is that?
How far south is that thing?
Probably 3.5 miles south of Highway 9.
Oh, wow.
You don't
Way
have
out
any
there.
water lines anywhere.
Nowhere
close.
close.
And I don't think you want to build it.
If you do, I'd love to have them.
We don't want to start that discussion.
I knew if I didn't recognize the road, it's probably south of here.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
To clarify too, right now, the only ask that we're at 6 meters, not a full development. It's a 4-inch water line coming down 290, there's not enough there for me to do a subdivision right now. Maybe someday we look at that again, but right now, what I requested from Goldsby was a total of, is either 6 or 7 meters.
I don't think we have any plans in,
No.
not only the near future, the long future, to be putting water.
Yeah, this is on the south side of the development, that, the Sealet development down there, so it's a good ways down, away from us.
I make a motion that we approve item number 8.
I'll second.
Motion is second for approval of item number 8.
Mike Fullerton?
Yes.
Tommy Clay?
Yes.
Gene Reed?
Yes.
Marcy White?
Yes.
Carl Nell?
Yes. Item number 9, discussion of possible action, acceptance of improvements, approval of maintenance bond, and approval of pay application number 5 and 6 for final payments, including retaining Stigum Contracting LLC for water treatment plant clarifier rehabilitation.
The clarifier is done. It's actually been inspected, and is operating,
It goes round and
it
round.
goes round and round.
No scrapey, scrapey.
There's
No
No
scraping.
scraping?
It is operating properly, according to our superintendent.
Very good.
Awesome.
That's good
A
news.
lot of time worrying about something I've never seen inside of, but I'm glad it's done.
Want us to drop you down into it?
Yeah.
This way.
Jeff might want to.
There
I
will
don't
be
know.
scraping.
There'll be scraping.
Someone's clogging this thing up.
Well, I make the motion, we approve item number 9.
Yay. Second.
Motion second for approval, item number 9.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes,
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Gene Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on submitting plans, application, and fee to ODEQ for permit to construct a 12-inch sewer line extension in Tri-City.
This is one we talked about several months ago. It's just under 3,000 feet of 12-inch line. It's going to allow us to get rid of the lift station over there in front of Walmart, which is, you know, we don't get to say that very often, but this one will. Now, it's going to be fairly expensive. Preliminary estimates right now are in the $600,000 range, but I think if you add that up over the years, we're going to be well ahead.
And it improves what we already have over there anyway, just not the.
Yes, yes, and it allows us to extend some sewer service all around the service, yes.
Luigi's and all that is.
Yes.
And it gives us a secondary serving that area.
So no worries about that interfering with anything else?
We have submitted to ODOT and OTA for their
That's
review.
what I was wondering, yeah.
I have discussed it, actually, my cousin is the project manager over at OTA.
Okay.
And so we have submitted it for him. Their initial reports are it's not going to interfere with anything.
Okay, good.
But we will get their comments on it. I mean, if this is in the way, then there's a lot of businesses over there in the way. So we're running it between a lot of businesses, so we should be okay. So we would just ask for your approval to submit to ODEQ for their review.
I will add on that lift station, last week, we spent $11,000 for a new pump, because the pump went out, and I was informed this morning that the second pump has went out.
Is that right?
So we're now operating right now on a gasoline pump at that lift station until we can get one of the new pumps at least in. They're trying to find us to use them to throw in there that'll work, but,
Yeah, really.
yeah.
is that that pump that we bought?
I'm sorry?
Is that the pump, the gasoline one, the one?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, yeah.
We bought for the last one that went.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the sewer line plans, item 10.
Second.
Motion second for approval, item number 10.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes,
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Gene Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 11, discussion and possible action on use of American Rescue Plan Act funds.
These are, this goes right along with item 13, and they're reversed, they're kind of reversed. So I'll kind of speak to item 13, and then item 11 will kind of fall into place. Basically, the federal government has come out and said cities can claim a standard allowance revenue loss of up to $10 million. And once a city does that, then you can use these ARPA funds that we've already received, 50% of, for any project that you would deem necessary, whether that's purchasing vehicles, building a road, water lines, sewer lines, you could use it for anything. So right now, we're working toward, if council approves these items here tonight, we would like to make that declaration of a standard allowance. We've already been told on 2 occasions, and even by our accounting firm, you don't have to show loss. You don't have to prove loss.
Right.
You have a standard allowance revenue loss that you can claim.
Well, that's the American way.
Yeah,
So,
just like your taxes.
so you can make this claim and then use these funds for whatever the council deems necessary. And then, of course, once that's done, we can actually begin talking about what types of projects or what project the council may want to look at.
See, I knew that last month when I kept saying, fix a road, and you kept saying we can't fix a road with it. I knew that.
She knew this was coming down the
Yeah.
pipe.
Yeah, you know.
Your connections are better than mine.
Right. I did. I flubbed it up many times. Now I feel good that we could if we wanted to.
Are there any downsides to the city, claiming that minimal? No, is that, okay.
Not according to what we've been told.
And other cities will be doing the same thing?
I'm sure they will. And oddly enough, it's basically only for non-entitlement cities. Okay, so, and I have emails right now that says there are no entitlement cities that received over $10 million. So everybody is basically eligible to do this.
Remind me again, what's an entitlement city?
Anything under, I believe it's 50, is it 50,000 population? I think. So, I mean, I have, of course, a couple of ideas. I know council has ideas on what you would like to see that 1.8 million spent for, go toward. Maybe next month would be a better time to come back and actually talk about projects and give us the 30 days to get this declaration if you choose to approve it.
I've got some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I think we threw some out last month, whether we thought they were eligible or not. But yeah, we have ideas. I think you probably know what our ideas are.
We just want to get things in place. I mean, of course, we're not in a rush. I mean, this doesn't have to be fully spent, I believe, until 2026.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a little bit of time there. But I don't like things sitting on the back burner. You tend to forget those things when you do that.
So you'd be proposing that we approve item 13,
I will be, yes, proposing that.
and item 10 would be, item 11
no
would
action.
be
Right.
no action or until.
Are we?
So you're right, we've gotta have 13, I mean, technically 13's gotta happen before 12, I mean, as in.
Correct. Yeah, before 11.
Are we gonna be eligible for any of the treasury funding as well, discretionary treasury funding? Because I know like broadband deployments are in there, so there's some infrastructure from that.
Well, item 12 is a totally different set of money that we'll discuss as well.
Okay, good, okay.
There'll be no action on item number 11, item number 12. Discussion and possible action on submittal of NPWA City of Newcastle project for the State of Oklahoma American Rescue Plan ARPA project.
These funds were distributed to states from the federal government, $195 billion worth of funding that was distributed. Now, cities in Oklahoma can submit to the state of Oklahoma for projects for funding, request funding. There's no cost to the city. It's 100% funded. On this batch of money, you can only do infrastructure projects, broadband, things of that nature. You cannot do roads, you can't buy vehicles, you can't build buildings, things like that.
Radio systems for,
No,
that's not.
no,
That's not.
that would not be included.
Darn.
However, the city can submit as many projects as we can write. There's no limit. There's no limit to the number of projects, there's no limit to the amount of funding that we request. Doesn't mean we'll get every bit of it, but we can write projects to our heart's content and see what sticks, if any. With council approval, we would like to go ahead and start submitting projects, and it's a very short, 1 or 2 page application, very, very short. Once that is sent in, it gets sent through 4 different committees at the state level for review, goes through the committees. If they approve it and send it on, then it goes to the governor's desk for approval at some point. We have no idea when that may be. We don't know when they actually plan to distribute this money. Right now, there's no timelines on submittal. I'm a little bit concerned about that because we know those tend to pop up relatively quickly, just out of the blue, and then all of a sudden you have 10 days to get it turned in.
Once they see how many people want how much money, they
Right.
can say, we better put a timeline.
So, and basically what we would be submitting for is all of the projects that we've discussed in council meetings, our 18-inch water line, we'll submit for money for the sewer plant, we'll submit for money for sewer line, this project that Kenny is proposing. There's other sewer line projects that we need to get done, our water lines along section line roads, a sewer system of some sort potentially down on Highway 9. I mean, there's just, we have enough that we can submit and hope that we get funding for.
About that. I guess,
I make a motion that we give them the go sign
yeah, I mean,
to proceed with submitting
any projects that we've already,
and
any and
all
all projects.
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 So,
Second.
the motion second
Second.
for approval of item number.
Matching funds
Well,
or?
There's no matching.
No matching, no cost share.
Nope. not
That's
good.
good.
Kevin, is there any advantage to cost share? Because a lot of the line work you're talking about, you know, city forces could install. Is there additional points if we claim for materials and
Well,
maybe fuel, and then city forces install it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a shovel-ready project,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
close to it anyway. And I'm kind of thinking that even though they don't discuss that in the emails and everything, the correspondence that we've received, I'm kind of thinking that these committees will probably be looking at that pretty close, whether it's said or not said.
yeah,
And especially for our sewer plant, as far along as we are right now,
Right.
I have a little bit of a feeling that we may receive some funding, I don't know how much, but they also look at, the benefits of what we do, who it will benefit, if it promotes economic growth, if it promotes these different things. And there's a lot of things there that we can say absolutely it does. And if it, not only just Newcastle, but McLean County and then surrounding areas.
And the nation,
No, not the nation.
if it benefits them, it doesn't.
Oh, you
help
mean the
us.
Chickasaw Nation? Potentially,
I'm
potentially.
I'm working with the state of Nevada on theirs, and they do like seeing, like, I'm on the other side of it, and they look to see if people have skin in the game. Every state's different, but that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
would
and I-
suggest
They
however
gotta
we
be
move
looking
it.
favorable at,
Right.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Newcastle's willing to
Right,
put effort into this.
right, yeah, it does favor well for them.
Well, we know we have two projects right now that are basically ready to go. I
Yeah.
mean, not 100%, but they're awful close.
Or we're pretty close to going out to bid for this sewage, aren't we, for the
Well,
plant?
we're getting ready to go to, for the plant, we're getting ready to go to DEQ in the next,
Yeah.
month, maybe two.
It's perfect timing, if
And
you
then
ask
we'll
me.
bid it a couple months after that.
Mhm.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Tommy Clay, or
Yes.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Jean Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White,
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 13, discussion of possible action to declare a standard allowance revenue loss to the extent of ARPA funds received and to be received by the city of Newcastle as a non-entitlement unit, NEU, for allocation of ARPA funds to the government services use category of the ARPA program.
Make a motion, we approve item 13.
Second?
Motion second for approval, item number 13.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 14, monthly treasurer's report. Our treasurer could not be here this evening. She did email out the financials. Does anybody have any questions about those with our city manager and myself?
No, they looked really good, so.
All right, so there'll be no action on item number 14. Item number 15, general manager's comments.
A lot of work has been done out at the plant. Of course, they're focusing on these two towers now and this clarifier getting done. And they have also began clearing trees and things of that nature. I think they may be doing that before the geotech gets out there. Clearing some area on our wastewater plant land, so they can go ahead and get out there and start doing geotech surveys and things of that nature, do some drilling. And that right now is primarily what they're focused on in the water department, sewer department. That's all I have there.
Item number 16, any trustee comments? All right, item number 17 is adjournment.
Motion?
Second.
Motion second for adjournment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. This time I'll call the February 14th, 2022 meeting of Newcastle City Council to order. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Carl Nell.
Here.
Mike Fullerton.
Here.
Tommy Clay.
Here.
Jean Reed.
Here.
Marcy White. Here.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action on approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Motion second for approval of the agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 3, citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for any citizen to comment on any matter related to the city of Newcastle that is not on the agenda. I remind all potential commenters that all speakers shall clearly state their name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person with only one speaking opportunity. Council members will not respond to comments or questions. The mayor may end comment period at his discretion, and prior authorization is required for distribution of materials or to approach the council. This time, are there any citizen comments related to the city of Newcastle? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, consent agenda. Are there any items any member of council desires removed from the consent agenda and addressed individually?
Do you want me to speak, Mayor, on, L? On that pickup I discussed with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So 4L is the purchase of a 22 F-150 crew cab. We needed to order another truck. And basically the trucks that we have been purchasing are roughly $25,000 to $27,000. This one is 34. It's a little bit more truck than what we've been purchasing, and this will go to the water department. When we called the state office about this, they actually had this truck available. I believe it's Advance, if I'm not mistaken. They actually had this truck available, and it's the only truck available, and primarily told us that if you don't want this truck, you're gonna have to wait until 2023's begin manufacturing. So, we couldn't wait that long. So it is under, of course, the amount that I'm authorized for, but I did want this placed on the consent agenda so council's aware of it and understands that we did go ahead and make this purchase and why.
All right, item number 4, consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion second for approval of the consent agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 5, discussion and possible action on any items removed from the consent agenda. Be no action on that agenda item. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on acceptance of improvements, approval of maintenance bond, and approval of pay applications number 5 and number 6 for final payments, including retainage to Young Contracting LLC for water treatment plant clarifier rehabilitation.
This is the same item that you just approved in NPWA.
Motion to approve agenda item number 6.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 6.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 7, discussion and possible action on submitting plans, application, and fee to ODEQ for permit to construct a 12-inch sewer line extension in Tri-City.
Motion to approve. Item 7.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 7.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 8, discussion and possible action on approval of bid, award of contract, and authorization to issue notice to proceed for repainting 2 water storage facilities and a clarifier at the water treatment plant.
Motion to approve agenda item 8.
Second.
Motion second for approval of agenda item number 8 to Kennard.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 9, discussion and possible action to approve a request from the town of Goldsby for modification of water line access and construction agreement dated February 10th, 2014, between the city of Newcastle, the Newcastle Public Works Authority, the town of Goldsby, and the Goldsby Water Authority to allow extension of Goldsby water service into the Newcastle service area lying east of Pennsylvania Avenue on the north side of 290th/Chestnut Road.
Motion to approve agenda item number 9.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 9.
Fullerton.
Yes.
Tommy Clay?
Yes.
Gene Reed?
Yes.
Marcy White? Carl Nell?
Yes. Item number 10, discussion and possible action approval of revised easement agreement between the City of Newcastle, the Newcastle Public Works Authority, and the heirs at law of the estate of Randolph Newman DeVille, deceased.
Make a motion to approve item number 10 with clarification that the other parties need to sign the agreement that we sent over.
Second?
Motion second for approval item number 10 with contingencies.
Mike Fullerton?
Yes.
Tommy Clay?
Yes.
Gene Reed?
Yes.
Marcy White?
Yes.
Carl Nell?
Yes. Item number 11, discussion and possible action to determine that the burning of organic waste and/or refuse from marijuana grow facility located at 2024 South Main Street, Newcastle, Oklahoma, constitutes public nuisance, and for declaration of abatement process to be made by the city without further notice.
This item is one that, well, we've discussed a couple of times in council meeting about the burning of waste at this facility and the complaints that have been received from residents in that area. We did send a cease and desist letter to the owners of this company, and they responded very quickly and came in and met with us at City Hall. We basically told them that burning of materials there would not be allowed from this point forward because it is a nuisance to the residents in that area, and we've received several complaints. They immediately brought us an agreement that they will have all of their waste hauled off, once a month, whatever that may be. And I believe brought that agreement into you, Camille, was that correct?
Yes, and it is a company registered with OMMA.
Okay. And I'm not, and we may be overstepping our bounds here, Jeff, but what I wanted to do, and we also notified the owners of the company that we would be doing this tonight, it would be brought to city council, is that to go ahead and declare the burning of materials at this location a nuisance, if in fact it reverts back to any type of burning in the future, whether that's next week or 2 weeks from now, whatever it may be, that we already have this in place, that it's been declared a nuisance, and we can proceed with abatement procedures.
Yeah, I think certainly as it relates to this particular instance, I think passing this, taking this action is a pretty strong statement to the property owners that if they revert back to the burning, then it's going to be something that the city will act on pretty quickly. Under the nuisance statutes, you will have to go through the steps necessary to be able to declare it and take action. But approving this tonight gives you a pretty strong position to let the property owners know that this is not going to be allowed.
So you don't see any problem with it? You don't see any issue the way this is written?
No, I think it's fine for the purposes that you're trying to use it for.
And
But certainly it would apply to any and all burning, right? I mean, it's,
We're saying just this location,
Right.
Just this location.
just for now, because of my understanding is because of the level of complaints
Okay.
from surrounding neighborhoods has been defined with this.
There's been a
That's
lot.
correct.
It's been a lot. It's been an ongoing.
so Jeff, now you said that we would then have to take another step at some point in time in the future if burning resumes to determine it a nuisance at that point in time.
Correct.
So what we're doing here tonight is a cease and desist, but it doesn't determine it a nuisance
I know.
to where we could find them, should they.
The way I
do
read
burning.
the item is that you're determining that the burning of the waste at this location is a public nuisance.
Okay,
Right.
so we,
Now,
Just a
we're,
now,
proclamation.
instead of moving forward to try to get them to remedy that, they've already done it.
right, okay,
So they've actually preempted any action the city might take as to this particular instance.
Right.
but if they revert to burning, say, next week they go out and they burn, then we can immediately start to find them as set out in the letter.
You'll need to give them the notice again, they'll have to have an opportunity to respond, and you'll have to take action again. Now, the only way you make it per se a violation is you may have to come through and add it to your ordinances as a ordinance violation, as opposed to moving under the state nuisance statute.
So this state nuisance statute basically would be applicable to every single time they burn.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But we'd have to go through the steps.
Let's just change.
Basically, a notice, opportunity to be heard. It's a due process.
Okay.
And then back through council to be declared a nuisance again?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I think it's a good move on our part, just because they've been through a lot, the people that live around there. Like, it's been nonstop.
Well,
for
it might
them.
be something we need to look at, as he states, really
Uh-huh.
look at our ordinance as it
Yeah.
relates to these facilities that we might want to, as an ordinance wide. say,
That's where I was
this
going,
type-
that
this-
seems like it'd be an
this-
automatic, Tommy. It sounds like we've identified something that really needs to be addressed in our ordinance, because it could occur somewhere else, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
we have that option, I guess, to
I mean, there's many facilities that we have around.
right, so that's not this particular topic, but, I hope that would be a
something to consider.
connected next step for us to look at.
I would support that.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, anybody that burns, period, whether it be waste material or trees or
It's got a
anything,
burn permit.
has to have a permit anyway, right?
So they burn without a permit, but that's what's that fine.
To up to $244, which is what the nuisance would be as well. That's our maximum fine.
Is there any public comment concerning this agenda item? Yes, approach the podium, please, and state your name and address for the record.
For the record, my name is Lee, last name is Zhang, and I am the owner of the property, the business as well. Anyway, we are a fully compliant business. We do everything according to codes, standards. We met all the inspections. I tried to reach out to Kevin a couple weeks ago, but due to my private matters, I couldn't show up to this. But I did instruct my managers to come out and address this matter. Every time we burn, we do obtain a license and approval from the city of Newcastle, from the fire department. So once we got the approval, then we burn. Now, there were several occasions the fire trucks that came in because of the complaint. They came out, they inspected our material that we burn, and we try to comply with everything they asked us to do. During these 2 years, we moved in. Ironically today, coincidentally today, Daniel was the person who actually sold the property to us. Anyway, we did we're still somewhat under construction, so a lot of time we expose our infrastructure on public. We try to minimize the smell. We try to minimize everything possible to meet up with the code, to meet up with the standard. And we are open to public to come out and investigate, or to see the whole matters of burning. How we built this place is fully compliant with OMMA, OBNDD, all the licenses in place, all the infrastructure that we built was built according to code. So it was going through extensive inspection with Tim and all the other inspectors. Fire department came by. They inspected the whole place. So everything's like I say, once again, I'm not here to complain of anything at this moment. Since we've been here since 2020, we've been working on this project, and this project has been ongoing. We did hire a lot of people. As far as you guys going by the property, you see a lot of whackers, trucks, and electricians, plumbers, construction people. They're all licensed. We did generate a lot of jobs here in the local area for the city of Newcastle. Right now, we're currently employed with 20 plus people that are reporting W-2s, and doing a lot of outsourcing. Contractors come in. We are paying a tremendous amount of electricity. It's almost like $55,000 to $60,000 a month in that regard. And we're buying materials, supplies over almost $50,000 a month. We are reporting roughly from $400,000 to $600,000 in the sales each month, and that is recorded by CPA. We're doing everything we can, trying to be a good citizen here and be a good businessman here. So we're not complaining or anything at all. We're just trying to be a good business people, and hopefully the city councils can be understanding of what we're doing here. As far as dealing with the smell, the burning, things of nature, we did submit a plan to to the councilmen that we hired Enzo Green Company, which take care of all the waste matters. They are licensed with OMMA. And then on top of that, we're trying to implement a better program to minimize the smell for the laborers. I mean, we are installing a lot of air cleaners. In fact, our ACs are installed with air scrubbers and everything in place to basically utilizing all the bad things in the environment area. So we are doing everything we can, but we're still under construction. Just hopefully, it's a big project. And a lot of stuff that we still haven't had a chance to install it or to complete it by subcontractors because of the nature of COVID. A lot of people are pushing back, and we're waiting for supplies to come in from overseas to implement those matters. And carbon filters, things of nature, we're still waiting for those materials to come in. And of course, due to budget and the many other business, matters that we're facing. So it's like, it takes some time for us to implement everything to a perfection. I mean, I know there's constant changes on codes and standards of this type of a very sensitive business. A lot of my employees are facing a lot of, just nonsense stops in the local area because they smell marijuana, and so the bad stigmatism in our end is really, really bad. I mean, we're not any typical people to come in here and start a cannabis business. We did, like I said, we contribute to the city of Newcastle tremendously. Just want to let you guys know we're here to stay. We're not here to play out like all the other bad news that you hear about. So, like I said, this is an open door business. Anyone wants to come in with our approval, they can, set up an appointment and come in and inspect the place by any means. I mean, so just want to let you guys know that hopefully in the future, everybody can work with us. The city councils can work with us we can build a better, relationship in this matter, and that's why we show up here today. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you coming and speaking to us. One thing that we ask, and the reason we're here tonight, is anything you can do to minimize the impact on your neighbors.
Yes.
Is going to be the best thing you can do for both yourself and for us.
Absolutely.
So
that's the reason why we're here. And like I said, we're not taking this matter lightly.
Appreciate that.
We are dealing with everything we can to minimize the environment problems. We are using 100% organic nutrients, which matters. All the water that's dispersed back to our lagoon area is almost 99% water. Everything we use is hydroponic. We do a lot of, we don't use any chemicals. We use 100% organic pesticides material. So everything that we go through the lab passes 100%. And that's also the record. We have all the records in place. I mean, you guys are welcome to come and check those out if you needed to. So.
Ellie, let me ask you a quick question to help the council here.
Yeah.
Is the hauling off of this material, is that a feasible option instead of burning it?
Well, burning it makes it the cost. We cut the cost down. Right now, we're facing each month roughly around $1,500 more to add up to our budget. I mean, we are dealing with a lot of adversity, with this, with all being with all the coal. We're dealing with the matrix. To speak of, that costs a lot of manpower, a lot of money to implement that kind of, and we're the first one to accept, because I know it's a rule. If we have to do that, then we have to do it. But we're using roll flow right now to report, and we're tagging every plant. So whatever we need to do to compliance with the state, with the city, we are doing it right now.
And that makes sense. I think that's what the city's saying is here, is it makes you even a better neighbor to do this. So I guess my question on being feasible with hauling off or burning it, and that's kind of what the city's talking about today, because they don't, no one wants to put an unacceptable, something on you when you just can't handle it. But if that's feasible, and especially that size of a plant for $1,500, I think that answers a question for Gene a minute ago. If they're going to change the ordinance, if that size facility, 60,000 square feet, it's going to cost $1,500 a month more. Then I think the answer to your question earlier was, yes, it probably makes sense to change the ordinance.
Yeah.
Because a smaller facility is going to be a lot smaller amount. So
And they've already agreed to haul off, Daniel, so
Yeah, right, yeah.
They've already done that, so.
That's on top of what we already hiring the haul off already. So then that means we're actually dealing with about $1,000 just on hauling off
Yeah,
trash
a month.
every month. And then now
Yeah.
on top of it, we put in
Right.
another
Yeah.
1,500
Yeah,
into it.
that makes sense, but it's still a feasible option to keep you going. It's not easy, I mean, obviously additional expenses aren't, but.
Yes, I
But
mean, it's
when you come
feasible.
down to a middle neighbor and you have these big neighborhoods that are by you, it
Yes.
makes sense.
Yeah, just so you know that every time we burn, we did acquire permission to do so.
Right.
It's not like we're doing it just out of the blue, so we called in until they approved this. And then at this point, what you guys are addressing is that, yes, we are following what you guys are asking and try to be a good labor, and that's why we absorb that cost. But just hopefully that in future that we can all, you know, be more cooperative of, you know, both sides, instead of just hearing out one side, and then as a businessman, we have to deal with the costs. We're the ones pouring all the money in there to help the city build this, and we're reporting a lot of taxes here. So, you know, we're doing a lot of contributions to the community. And like I think Kevin really know that we did, you know, every year, I thank them. I thank all of you guys for allowing us to come out here and, you know, to start up the business like this. I mean, everybody sees this as a gold rush, but it to be fully compliant, it takes a lot of work, you know, and understanding the business in nature. It just takes a very good SOP to run a business like this. And adding, you know, if the future code changes, future standard changes, I hope that the city of Newcastle can work with us. That to a point that, you know, hopefully understanding what we're facing, and it's an open book discussion. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing that we want to hide, or we want to intentionally not to foresee doing things that, you know, what you guys are asking for.
Right,
And that's the reason why I'm here today.
Yeah, and the reason why, one of the reasons why you're here is because we've got people who've invested a lot of money in homes that are adjacent to this, and they're being extremely adversely impacted. And so, you know, as long as we don't have those impacts on the neighbors, you probably won't hear from city council. So,
Yes.
you know, that's kind of up to you, and I know you've invested a lot, but they've invested a lot too. Most of those
Absolutely.
people, that is their biggest investment they'll ever make in their life, is those houses that are close, that are being adversely impacted when you burn. So keep those in mind, and like I said, if we don't hear from them, you probably won't hear a lot from us.
Okay? That sounds good. We'll do
All
our
right.
due diligence, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
So at this point in time, we can go ahead and approve that.
Make a motion to approve item number 11.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 11.
Mike Fullerton?
Yes.
Tommy Clay?
Yes.
Jean Reed?
Yes.
Marcy White?
Yes.
Carl Nell?
Yes. Item number 12, discussion and possible action on adopting ordinance number 902, clarifying Title 15, Chapter 156, Section 156.06 of the Newcastle Code of Ordinances regarding the assessment of transportation impact fees on development in the city of Newcastle. That sounds like a Janae question. Is she asleep?
To get her ear fired up.
Good evening. This update or clarification to the ordinance is just, and I don't have a presentation this evening, I apologize. It's very short. It's just the update to the chart to clarify that single family RF1 is included. It was basically left out of the chart, and so we worked with Camille and our city attorney, Mr. Bryant, on updating that ordinance to clarify this so we can assess that fee on RF1 properties, and it does exclude any ag properties. I'm happy to answer any questions.
It's not a net new fee. It's a fee that applies, and to clarify that it does in fact apply to RF1 as well.
That is correct.
It said single family, but didn't specifically say RF1.
All right.
So there was some.
One of our residents saw it on the agenda and they thought we were introducing a new fee.
No, this
So I
is
just-
all for new subdivisions, any new subdivision, anything that comes in, whether it be residential, commercial, or industrial.
And I'm aware of that, I just was articulating it on their behalf.
Thank you, sir.
Any public comment concerning this agenda item? All right,
Make a motion, we approve item number 12.
Second.
motion second for approval of item number 12.
Mike Fullerton?
Yes.
Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White, Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 13, discussion of possible action on adoption of the emergency clause ordinance number 902.
Make a motion to approve item number 13.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 13.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White, Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 14, discussion of possible action on the use of American Rescue Plan Act funds. We've kind of discussed that at length. No action on that item. Item number 15, discussion of possible action on submittal of NPWA City of Newcastle project for the state of Oklahoma, American Rescue Act, ARPA project.
And we decided on Public Works we're approving the city to whatever projects they.
Make a motion.
Sure, that was the same?
Yeah.
line, that was-
Yeah.
I
Yes,
thought
sir.
it was, okay. Make a motion to approve item number 15 for the city to submit any and all projects.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 15.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White, Carl Nell.
Yes.
Someone's got a Valentine's Day.
Item number 16, discussion of possible action to declare a standard allowance revenue loss to the extent of ARPA funds received and be received by the city of Newcastle as a non-entitlement unit, NEU, to allow allocation of ARPA funds to the government services use category of the ARPA program.
Motion to approve agenda item number 16.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 16.
Is that Mike?
That's Tommy.
Tommy.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White, Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 17, proclamation of the mayor recognizing February 19th through 26th, 2022 as National FFA Week in the city of Newcastle.
Second.
We have to just acknowledge that, or is it
I think so, it's just a
just an acknowledgement, basically, so I don't think we have a vote on that. Item number 18, city manager's comments.
What we are primarily focused on right now on this, well, on the city side and the NPWA side is personnel. We're going through, I think, just about every week and discussing, the personnel that we need, the different positions that we're going to need. I am also in conversations with Guernsey Engineering right now about design and engineering for a new city hall, because we're going to outgrow that next week. So we are talking about that. Guernsey is also, and I can't remember if I mentioned this at the last council meeting, but they are also working on a master plan currently for the 13 acres that we purchased on Main Street for the use of that property.
Good.
Got an email today from Guernsey on the animal shelter, and that they will be advertising for requests for quotes here probably within the next week. And then once we get through all of that interview process and shortlisting, just like we did the fire station, that will be brought to council for approval on selection of a CMGC.
Are plans and specs available for those?
Not yet, getting awful close, very
And
close.
we're putting that where we're at now?
Yes, right, just north of the water department,
Okay.
40 feet away from it. All of our police vehicles finally came in. Those are getting decaled and things of that nature right now. Fire truck is supposed to be here Thursday.
Wow, fast.
What else? What else, Jeanette? There's so many things going on right now.
I heard Jeanette offered to work from home.
Oh, I'm sure she did to somebody.
I cough, I sneeze, I do everything.
Is,
We've got trees.
We have trees.
We have a
Yeah.
ton of
Yep.
trees.
Ton of trees.
is
They,
the, how
they-
long till the fire truck goes out? Like, what all they have to do to it once it gets here? Just transfer all the equipment to
Yeah,
it
just load it,
and stick
load
it?
and go. We'll be ready to
Cool.
go.
It's exciting.
And push it in.
They planted 43 trees around the pond out here, and roughly 67 to 75 more on the south side of 10th Street. So I think that's pretty well, it looked like it's pretty well finished up today.
I think they're coming back just to finish the mulching and a few little things, but.
Yeah, there's some more staking.
Once again, guys, this is an annual deal.
Yeah.
We'll be planting these trees every
We
year.
budgeted every year,
It's gonna be so pretty.
Oh, man.
so.
Or what?
Unless any of you have any questions, that's about all I can remember right now.
Item number 19, any council member comments?
Only one. Rockwell looks great.
The dirt work around it looks great. Saw that as I was coming into town today.
And I purposely went and drove county line,
I have to.
and that turned out very nice.
Mhm.
That was a major improvement, and we're gonna continue, get that north section done with Tuttle in the near future.
That was supposed to start today.
Okay, so there from 37, 2 miles south will be, it turned out super nice, so, and then we'll get some more down there, so I know that people down there are excited about that.
Now, there's one section still up in the air that needs it desperately, right? Is that the Bridge Creek?
Blanchard.
Blanchard.
Yeah, about a mile's worth,
What are we
down
doing
south.
there?
I'm sorry?
Is it theirs or is it co-joining?
We share it.
We share it.
Yeah, we're supposed to share it now. We'll be approaching that subject again because they did pass a 1 cent road tax down there.
Good.
So we'll be discussing that again.
Oh, yeah, it
See if
did
we-
pass.
Yes.
Yay.
So hopefully we can get that done and the county line up to stuff
Yeah.
all the way, at least through our jurisdiction.
Mhm.
But, any other council member comments? All right, item number 20, item 28, discussion of possible action on entering, upon advice of council to enter into an executive session as permitted under 25 OS, section 307B3, discussing the purchase or appraisal of real property, 23.77 acres in the southwest quarter, section 17, 9 north, 4 west, in Plain County, Oklahoma, Bill Owen property.
Motion to enter into executive session.
Second. And I'll amend that, if you'll amend that motion, including our city manager, our assistant city manager, and our
include-
city attorney.
City manager, assistant city manager, and city attorney, please.
Motion second to enter into executive session.
Who seconded?
Mike.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Gene Reed.
Yes.
Marcy White. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes, we will take a 5-minute break and then have executive session. Rick, go ahead. Item number 20B, discussion and possible action on any matters discussed in executive session. I will make a motion to authorize the city manager to pursue a purchase contract with the owner of the Bill Owen property.
Second?
Motion and second to authorize the city manager.
Oh, we don't have a Camille.
I'm sorry. Tommy Clay,
Yes.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White,
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 21 is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion second for adjournment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?